My name is Dr. Laura Wittcoff, and I'm delighted to share a bit about my background and areas of interest. But I'd like to start with a question. What if you could positively impact the lives of many? Would you take that risk? Would you take that risk if it meant being vulnerable, trying something new, failing, and sometimes succeeding at different intervals of the journey you're traveling? And always carrying the frame of reflection, self compassion, and moving forward with the opportunity to learn and grow. That's what I think about when I think about leadership. It's about taking risks, it's about being very vulnerable, whether you're doing something brand new, starting something new, or just testing something out, or trying a new leadership capability. It's always having a sense of vulnerability, but really having self-compassion and having the desire to learn and grow and to get feedback. I've always been interested in helping others. After all, I'm a social worker and saw my role as an advocate for change. I pursued my doctorate in social change and innovation to try to make a difference on a larger scale. And I focused on the area of messaging and marketing for the smaller social service sector, those with budgets under $10 million, to help raise their visibility since they can't use public dollars for public relations or marketing. Small for-profit social impact organizations also fall into this category of trying to launch and grow while addressing a social need, so I included them in my target customer group. I adapted a known business process from Edward Deming, who utilized the Japanese philosophy and approach for continuous improvement known as Kaizen. This business process focused on testing ideas quickly. I replaced the action of doing with the action of engaging through a game-like approach, and I called this gamifying engagement. The goal is really to elicit interest and activity from stakeholders, whether it was about making a decision, getting a read on the internal culture or environment, or to see what message or marketing strategy might yield the biggest response before ever investing a lot of money into that strategy. This is an adapted strategy that includes both individual and team coaching, both of which I offer. During COVID-19, I had to pivot like so many of my clients and thought, how can I impact more folks with a strategy that is low cost and can still deliver the idea of raising my clients' visibility? I applied gamifying engagement on myself and set out to test an idea. Using a podcast platform to spread the word about these smaller organizations to extend their networks and help them become more visible became something I really wanted to consider and test out. My goal was clear. I didn't want to teach nonprofits anything at that point in time. I just really wanted to celebrate them and their work. I'd never interviewed people in such a public way, and I knew I would feel vulnerable. My fellow social worker, Brene Brown, says, vulnerability is the birthplace of innovation, creativity, and change. I truly, truly believe that. And I believe that's a deep aspect of leadership and the building blocks of leadership. And I certainly felt vulnerable in this new environment. But I also knew I had to jump in and just test it out. After all, I would often ask my clients to test things out as part of gamifying engagement. And so how could I not do the same thing? If they were willing to be vulnerable, I had to be willing too. The podcast Small and Gutsy, the Big Little Social Impact Sector, was born in January 2021. Small and Gutsy is an audio journey into the life of the smaller but mighty nonprofit and social impact organizational sector for the sole purpose of celebrating their impactful work. With over 50 interviews under my belt and over 40 episodes released, I can now call myself a podcaster. So, what will it take for you to take that risk to impact others' lives? Building your capacity can build others' capacity to fulfill their potential. Here are a few things that I've learned along the way of this new venture and throughout my life as a consultant. Give first before getting. Offer your talents as a collaborator, and you learn by offering others what you have to offer. Be passionate about your growth and learning, even if it's scary. Be vulnerable. We're all vulnerable at one point and another. You have to have self-compassion when you're also willing to be vulnerable. Network, network, network. Offer your talents as well as building your ability to see who's out there who might help you. And accept being frustrated and having days that are really tough and rough, because that's part of starting something new or taking a risk with a new method that you want to test out. So I just want to share with you those few things and really hope that you embark on your own journey as a leader. Thank you very much.